This is a BC Series Alliance washing machine. Today we're looking at some common reasons why your previously running machine no longer works. If the machine will no longer spin, there's several things to check. Your output board here has status lights for which direction the motor should be going in. It'll light up forward, reverse, or spin. And you have your contactors here. You can manually press them down to verify that the motor actually works or not. Now at this point, if you push these down with the machine powered and you get no response out of the motor, there is a chance the contactors aren't working. It's unlikely all three are going to quit at the same time. At this point, I would use another BC Series machine right next to it if you have one to power the motor in this machine and see if that machine will manually activate the motor. If the motor does work when you manually push it down, but it doesn't spin in cycle, the next thing you're going to want to check is, while the status light is on, check and see what voltage you're getting across the coil on the contactor. That's the two bottom wires here and here. It'll say right on the coil, this one's 240 volt. It's usually 110 or 240. There are some 24 volt ones out there, but not many. So if you have your light on and you're getting 220 here, but still nothing, I'd say your contactor or the coil in the contactor is no good. The board's supplying power, the coil's receiving power, but it's not going down. If the light goes on and you're not getting 220 over here, then there's generally something wrong with the output board itself. It's getting the signal, it's trying to send power to the contactor, but it's not getting there. If your machine won't fill, it's generally either a problem with the output board, that's what powers the water valves, or the water valves themselves. First, verify you actually have water pressure to the back of the machine and you don't have a blockage in your line before you go crazy tearing the machine apart. After that, you're going to want to check out the water valves themselves. This is a breakdown of an LB valve. You have your stem, spring, piston, diaphragm, and solenoid here. These generally hold up really well with the plastic body, but sometimes you do get corrosion in here and it will jam these up. You'll also see swelling on the rubber tip here, which will also affect the ability to go up and down the right height, and the diaphragms over time either dry out and stiffen up, or they swell up and kind of deteriorate. Some of them crack and come apart. A lot of it depends on the water in your building. Last, you're going to want to verify that the solenoid's working right. With an ohm meter across the two tabs, you should be getting somewhere between 4 to 7 ohms. Check all of them, they should all be pretty close to each other. If you're getting 0, you have a dead short at the solenoid. If you're getting infinite resistance, it means you have a break inside the solenoid and no power will get across ever. So verify that everything's operating smoothly in here and that the solenoids are actually any good. Once you've verified all of that, what you're going to want to do is start the machine. While it should be filling, check for voltage across the tabs on your water valves. You should be getting on the tan ones 220 volts. So if it should be filling and it's calling for water and you're getting 24 across here, there's either something wrong with the solenoid or the valve assembly is stuck, or you don't actually have water pressure to the backside. If everything checks out here and you're just not getting correct voltage here, then there's a problem with your output board and you're going to want to send that out for repair. If the machine won't drain, it's generally one of two things. Either your motor's stuck, so once these machines have no power, they're spring loaded, they should open up automatically. If you cut power and it's still not draining, you can take these two bolts out and lift the motor right off in case the motor itself seized up on you. That should open up the valve and let it through. Beyond that, you most likely have a blockage in the line somewhere, and you're going to have to disconnect the hoses, take the drain valve out, and literally see where the blockage is. If you can't see it at the drain tee back here, you most likely have a blockage in your plumbing, and you're going to need to get a plumber in to snake the line. And the most common problem, if the machine won't start because the door's not locking, you're going to want to check First, the latch assembly itself. Make sure that this piece is going over when you shut the door. Sometimes the little tab here will get bent over time and the latch won't catch it. All you really have to do is just bend it back out. Next, with an ohm meter, you're going to want to check across the two switches. Make sure you're getting 0 ohms of resistance. After that, you're going to want to check with no power. RT1 on the output board, this little guy here. Give it a light poke with a pen. If the disc drops out, it's no good. You need to send it out for repair. Beyond that, the last thing to check would be the door lock solenoid itself. You can either check it in another machine, or if everything else checks out, just go ahead and replace that part there.